Hello guys, another dose of clues, cues and reviews, and today I'm looking at Bleach chapter 646, noted as the second eye, making reference to the opponent that Mr. Kiraku is facing, the Quincy Elite. So this chapter pretty much carries on from where the last chapter ended. The first element is more to do with Shinji and some lieutenants or vice captains, whichever way you want to refer to them, kind of having the conversation about helping Kiraku, being that he's intercepted the enemy. So Shinji kind of pretty much nails it on the head. He pretty much says, just leave him be, and they're like, what are you talking about? He needs his help. Obviously they're caring, they want to help him out, but he pretty much says, look, he's fine as he is, and then he kind of helps him reflect by referring to Ukitake, who's pretty much Kiraku's best friend and has known him the longest. Ukitake is the captain who was pretty much always ill, who was the right arm of the Soul King and pretty much is done for at the moment. So kind of they do a flashback slightly, what would he kind of do in the situation, and pretty much even in his short but simple words he says, look, if Kiraku said he's fine. And when you think about it, Kiraku and Ukitake were the oldest captains. They're probably the first two captains under Yamamoto, Gensuru, the original or the most recent captain commander, and he pretty much says, look, to add to that, he's the captain commander for a reason, and pretty much his job is to carry the burden and shoulder the burden of his underlings. So basically, like a captain would be, a captain of captains would be, his job is to protect everybody else and to effectively share their burden and kind of take it upon himself to protect others. So then it flashes back to the fight, and much like how Kiraku's always is, he's that tricky, that confusing, and that he's very tricky like a fox, in a sense where he's always confusing and manipulating his opponents. So the fights continue and he's kind of using the rules of his game to his advantage, and pretty much it looks like the guy can't keep up. So there's points where Kiraku's attacked him and he's trying to rip off one of his arms and destroy his version, his gun, which is pretty much his Reishi arrow, and he explains to him, look, I can get this back as many times as I like, it's based purely on my Reishi. And he kind of said, Kiraku basically says, oh, is that why you can keep building it? And then within a flash, he's behind him, stabbing the hell out of him. So it kind of shows how tricky he can be. He's talking to his enemy mid-battle, and he's using these little tricks and levels of his game to his advantage, the rules I should say. So then you get kind of a panel where the enemy, Mr. X-Axis, G-Axis, whatever you want to call him, one of the elites, kind of thinks to himself that this is the third time my eyes open in a battle, and then does a flashback of him being scared of shadows and kind of playing off the previous chapter's title, Chasing Shadows, how as young he was always scared. And then it kind of goes into a conversation where he basically says that my ability is, every time I open my eye, pretty much she's untouchable or indestructible in the world, and he's the closest thing to God because he was the last person to get his powers from the current Soul King Juhabak, and his powers are really, he's really powerful basically. So he also says that whilst his eyes open, I'm pretty much untouchable, and as usual Kiraku's like, oh well, could you close the eyes for me, make life easier for him basically. But he basically says once his eyes open 3 times in a battle, he can pretty much have his eye open the whole time. That's a power that's been granted to him, and when he does open his eye, he transforms and he turns into more like an angel, kind of mecha angel type of thing, mecha mechanical robotic type of angel with wings, and he calls himself Jilail. And you see Kiraku's face, and it's amazement / shocked, like kind of like, what do I do now? Now the problem with Kiraku is, to the readers, he's a massive troll. I mean, he's always trolling, he's always messing, he's always doing something that, oh, you think he's lost, you think he's done, and he's not. He comes out with something. So I have all the confidence that if the next chapter is about the continuation of this battle and it doesn't kind of flash to somebody else, that he'll either find somewhere out, or it might finally be time for us to see, us the readers, the whole world, the fans of Bleach, to see Bankai. Kyuraku's Bankai. I've been waiting for a very long time. What is this? Chapter 646? Since it was introduced around about chapter 100, or maybe before that. I think he was introduced pretty much in the Rukia retrieval arc, but since his introduction to the story as the lazy chilling out captain, I've always wanted to see his Bankai. Now, being that this is the final arc, the 1,000-year blood war, the enemy is turned the upper level, will we finally see the Bankai? Now, bearing in mind, he's meant to be the strongest, he's a captain commander, and remember, if you think back to the Arrancar Wars, he fought number one, the number one Arrancar at the time. Of course, they said 10 was 0 and all that, blah, 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 but never mind. Where everybody else was pretty much fighting with Bankai, he fought with just Shikai. So you can imagine how strong he could potentially be with a Bankai. Now it remains to be seen as how powerful this guy is going to be and how can he handle even Shikai. But I would love to see his Bankai. I don't know if you agree with that. I'm hoping you do. If you do, please like, comment and subscribe, and hopefully we can carry on a discussion on what this will be about. Maybe he creates a game where he's untouchable and he's pretty much destroys his enemy. We will have to see. I'm excited. Are you?